Welcome to the Why Not podcast with me, Chrissy Hawkins. In a world where everybody asks you why, I'm here to ask why not. So sit back and relax or walk and listen and join me on this journey as we try to answer this never-ending question: what makes people say, why not? Hi guys, welcome back to Why Not. So today I want to talk about goal setting, and there's kind of a couple of reasons why that's kind of come into my head recently. Partially because I just achieved a goal of mine by doing third time I did the half marathon, but I also got it under 2 hours, 1:57. Woohoo! Um, so it's kind of fresh in my mind that I kind of achieved a goal. It was a loose goal. I was going to do the half marathon either way, but I kind of wanted to, in the back of my head, without fully committing to it, do it under 2 hours. And when I was in the race and I saw it was possible, I was like, I am not missing that. But I am digressing slightly in an attempt to boast about how great I am. But basically, one of the reasons it's in my mind as well is because it's the summertime. And the summertime is often when a lot of our routines go out the window. Anytime there's a nice day, which seems to be few and far between in Ireland these days, everyone hits the pub because, well, I suppose why not? And, it's just that kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just that kind of time when your kind of health and fitness and stuff kind of, I suppose, hits the back burner. We're easily distracted, and when we have a goal in place, it can help us, for want of a better description, stay on the wagon a little bit more. And for me, I think it's really important because, like, to be fair, it's not unusual to have dips, and I have spoken on numerous times. Sometimes you have to make the decision to take a break, even if you don't want to. I had to do it, which I thought was probably the worst timing possible. Was just before the half marathon, the month beforehand, because I was really sick and my body was just knackered. So I knew that like I had a head cold or slash like cough, and I knew that if I tried to push through, I would just end up more sick. So I had to take the decision to step back from all training for at least a week, which wrecked my head. And I only got back running about a week and a half, which just turned out to be a week and a half before the half marathon, which was also beautiful. And I hadn't done like a long run, but anyway, none of these really affected me in the long term, it seems, which is something I'm very happy about. But anyway, as I said, I do always say there is that exception. Like, if you're sick, if you are feeling really run down, it's okay to take that time off and don't beat yourself up for it if you need to. Sometimes there are other things. Sometimes family comes in. There's things that have to take priority over your training, and that is totally okay. And I just want to say that before I go into this podcast, because I don't want to sound like one of those trainers who's like, you've got 24 hours in a day, make use of it. This is not a lecture. This is meant to maybe give you some inspiration, give you some ideas of what you can do if you're looking or feeling a little bit like, oh, I don't know what to do. Do I want to train? I do want to train, but I have no reason to want to train. So one of the big ones I see a lot, and I've never seen people more focused, is when people are getting married. They're often very much that aesthetic goal for the wedding, and I think they are fantastic for doing so. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think having an aesthetic goal is a problem if it comes to health and fitness, but it shouldn't be your only goal. And this is what I think happens with a lot of our people who come with a wedding in mind. Is the goal is, oh, look good for the wedding, and as soon as that is over, it changes to, you're not arsed anymore, basically. Yeah, let's put it bluntly. And that kind of tends to mean that you were doing it for the wrong reasons. Not that you were doing it for the wrong reasons, but you didn't actually want to do it. So I think it's always better to try and have a kind of more measurable, tangible goal that like kind of you can build on. So, for instance, if you go on to do a fitness competition, you could want to do a walk, you could want to do a run. I know a lot of people don't like running, so don't worry, you don't have to do a run. A lot of people seem to think to get fit you need to run, which you do not. But something like that can, if you set that goal down, it can really make it easier to keep going when you don't want to. So, for instance, I have done fairly consistent running this year, and I am not a fan of running. I moved from running outdoors to the treadmill for a while, which is hella boring, but I was still doing it. And the reason being was I knew I had that half marathon coming up in July, and I wanted to put myself, I knew it was really tough because I'd done it last year, in the best position possible in order to run it. And I think this is what people forget to do. It's they kind of like have this loose idea of I want to be fit, or I want to lose weight, or uh there's no way of measuring what it was. Mine in that scenario was I want to be able to run this half marathon better than I did last year. Um, my small goal was that. My goal that I didn't want to tell anyone in case I failed was that I wanted to get under 2 hours. And it's important because if I had not had that goal of doing the half marathon, I wouldn't have been running. And there has been other benefits to the running. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but for cardiovascular, I haven't been horse riding for a long time. I and that's why it's been important to have the running for me. I wanted to have that extra movement or keep myself in a certain fitness level in a way that can't say I enjoy, but it's something I'm able to do and fit into my schedule easily without having to worry about much. And likewise, at the moment with my own gym work, I don't have a set goal with that right now, so I'm actually finding it difficult to do it. Um, it's interesting because it's actually something I do enjoy, but I'm also still like, oh, this again, and that can be like that can happen. So it can happen with anything you enjoy, and like I said, with the summer, it's very easy to be like, if you have no set goal, to be just like, ugh, I don't feel like doing that today. Oh, I'll get distracted. I'll do this. I'll do that, and and I think it is. This is why the goals are important and why we need them. And there are like people. The M word comes up so often. Motivation. I'm not motivated. Blah blah. And people kind of think that you know motivation comes along and that gets you going, but often it's the action of working towards a goal that gives you motivation, because you can see the differences. You can like go you'll have a day where you'll do something and you're like, oh my god, I didn't realize I could do that, and that motivates you to keep going because you can see a difference, you can see a change, and you feel good about yourself. Whereas if we just sit there waiting for the motivation to come, it's not going to come. You might get motivated, but like it's very quick for it to disappear. Um, and that's why I say, I hope this makes sense with the goal. So, if you are just going through the motions, motivation dips, you're like, okay, fuck this, I don't want to do it anymore. But if you are going and having a tough day, but you have something that you can look at and go, this is what I want. Okay, where was I a month ago? Because your reflection is always really important. Oh my god, I can do this so much better than I thought I could. It'll motivate you to keep going because you can see that you're closer to where you want to be. So I hope that makes sense. And you know that is another really really important thing when it comes to goal setting. You need to have a measurable goal. It can't just be oh, want to lose a few pounds. Oh, I want to be able to run. Oh, like it needs to be. if you want to lose weight, how many kilos do I want to lose? Great. Now, is that possible? Maybe not. So then maybe we need to reevaluate the goal. Or you want to run a certain amount. Okay, well, what's the distance you want to be able to run? Is there a race you can sign up to? When do you want to be able to do it? How long? How often? All these things that you can measure and get yourself to a point where you go, okay, look, I actually did achieve that. Now what do I want to do next? Really, really important. Also, even because I talk a lot to equestrians, and I know I'm always going on about strength and conditioning and how it can really affect your riding and improve your riding and help your scores and everything like that. Well, how can we apply this goal setting to riding? Easy. I want to take part in this competition. I want to move up a grade. I want to get this score. Okay, how can I do that? Right, well, first off, I need to do the training with the horse. Perfect. Now for myself, what can I bring into my own training that can improve my riding, improve my horse experience, anything of the above? I think it's really important that we look at it that way as well, because I do think the fitness industry puts a lot of people off because it feels like there is a focus on the only reason you should do exercise is to lose weight, and not everybody needs to nor wants to lose weight, and that's okay too. So when we can reevaluate these goals, okay, if I have a stronger core, for want of a better description, I can sit up better. What does that translate to? Better marks on my dressage. If I'm more solid through my core, that means I'm more solid sitting on the horse. Fabulous. What does that translate to? Better aids to the horse. What does that translate to? Horse listening to better. What does that translate to? Less likely for the horse to go off course when riding, less likely for the horse to run out, less likely, again, better aids in your dressage scores. You know, they listen to you when you ask. These are all really important things that I think we, in particular in the dressage, or not dressage, or in the horse equestrian industry, do not think about when it comes to fitness. We just think ride, 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 ride. And I've gone about this so many times. There is only so many things you can do in the saddle. You cannot fix muscle imbalances in the saddle. You cannot um there's certain exercises you can't really do, and there's plenty of work that we do for the horses, like pole work and like, you know, different exercises to improve their movement. So why are we doing that for ourselves? Which is a whole other rant that I can get onto, should you wish. Um, and bring it back to like our non-equestrian people. Why do you want to be fitter? There's numerous reasons that involve not aesthetics. There's stuff like making it easy to carry the shopping. Like I live in third floor apartment, and often I just walk up the stairs with my shopping. I don't get much. I get like one bag. Um, and even just taking the stairs instead of hopping into the very easy lifted stair, for me it's quicker. Why? Because I'm fit and I find it easy. I prefer to do that. um you know, if you've got children, lifting children is very strenuous. They get heavy, they want help, they get to a certain age and you have to run after them. And do you want to be able to chase them down with no bother, or do you want to be wheezing afterwards? And these are really good reasons to want to stay fit as well. And you know, doing basic things around the house, doing different generally physical jobs are all really, really good. um I know that sounds really, really vague, and it's not something you can really make a measurable goal, but these are all other reasons for you to try and like focus on your fitness and care about your body. And I think you know it's often forgotten that, you know, you setting goals like these and achieving them, just like financial goals, just like work goals, just like any other goal you want to add to the list here, it's personal growth. Okay. And we all know the saying, nothing grows in the comfort zone. So this is what's going to get you out of the comfort zone and help you grow. And, you know, proving yourself and that you can do these things, which is something I find really interesting about uh, the running. It's something I heard years ago of Brian Keane. Like he does difficult things, like running, things he doesn't like doing, because then when he has to do other difficult things, it makes it easier for him. And I kind of took that on board, and that's part of the reason I run, because my aim is to try and make it other things in life easier for myself. But this is the kind of thing, these skills are transferable across all parts of your life. If you prove to yourself you can stay disciplined and do this in one area, why can't you do it in another area of your life? And I know it's easier said than done, but it gives you enormous self-confidence when you come off the back of something that you didn't think you could do and proved yourself wrong, for want of a better description. Like, you just feel great about yourself. You feel like you can really take on the world, and you've shown others that you're showing others, but not, it doesn't even matter if you've shown others, to be honest. Like, you can quietly go about your goals. I remember the first time I was doing a half marathon, I didn't tell anyone I was doing it until after. And the reason being was I wasn't sure how it would go, and I wanted to make sure I was happy with how it went before I told anyone. And that's okay as well. Like, working silently on your goals, when you get that win, is just as um just as much of an achievement as doing it and telling the world. Obviously, when you tell the world, it offers a bit more accountability. You have to kind of show up and say you're going to do it. But just because you don't tell anyone doesn't mean you're going to fail. Um, and I just think it is so, so important to remember that you don't have to share your goals. But I think it's really good to celebrate it, no matter how small or big they feel. You know, there's such little things, and we often, put ourselves down and say, oh no, that wasn't, like, a big thing. But it it is. Like, like, we're not comparing ourselves to, which we often do, to other people. Like, I wrote a blog about this recently, or a post about this recently, how the amount of people who you compare yourself. Obviously, social media makes comparison so easy, and it's very simple for you to be like, "Ugh, they did this, they did that," but sometimes you don't even want to do it. Like, you tell yourself, "I could never do that," but the real answer is, "I don't actually want to do it," and that's totally okay too. So I've tried to be like that when people are saying stuff. I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that," and it's okay to be open and not want to do something. So when you do good, just because it's a lower level as to what someone else has done, don't put yourself down for it. It's an achievement to you. Like, you have different goals to other people, maybe as well. You've only just started, and this is your first milestone. And the person you're comparing yourselves to have so many more milestones because they've been doing it for much longer. Running for several years, you could be running for a few weeks, or someone's lifting very heavy weights, and you're like, wow. But, like, again, like that, they might have been doing it for years. And I think we forget that. We just see the finished product and be like, why can't I do that? But what you can do is still impressive. And the more you do it, the more you'll be able to do more. And that is just so important to remember, I think, as a person. And don't let other people's achievements darken yours, for want of a better description, or make you feel like yours isn't an achievement, because everyone is different. And I don't care what the win is, it's time to celebrate that and feel like you deserve to be celebrated, okay? I don't care what way you do it, but you deserve to be celebrated. Like, so this is why I'm just saying, I suppose, trying to encourage people, as I said, the time of the year it is, it's that kind of time when people drop off, easily distracted. Everyone will be back in September, like it's so funny. It's like clockwork, January and September. So why not kind of give yourself that head start now and keep yourself going with the fitness goals. You could be that little bit further along by the time everyone comes back. Not saying that you need to be lording it over people, but think about how proud of yourself you will be when you are not that person starting back at square one in September like you do every year. And obviously, I know life gets in the way, different things happen, but there are things you can do. And even if it's just a little thing like making sure you're getting out for a daily walk, getting some steps up, um, you can do this with friends. You can set accountability buddies, which I love from South Park, and you can always check in with each other. Or if you need a coach can help you with that too. Sometimes we just need that extra little bit of help when we are trying to go for goals, because no matter how much we try, sometimes that little voice in our head tells us that we are not good enough and we're not going to reach it. And sometimes you need someone to tell them that that little voice is stupid and you can reach it. So do not worry. And it's not a failure. It doesn't make you any less if you get a coach to help you or if you need a friend to help you. In fact, it's going to make you more likely to reach that goal, and you will have fun doing it. Maybe not with a coach, but you'll have fun doing it definitely with your friends. Um, and it's really, really important to. Sorry, I keep getting messages. I shouldn't be recording with this sound on this, but it keeps breaking my train of thought. Damn it! See, new goal for me. Turn this off when I'm recording. But yes, as I was saying, you'll have more fun doing it with a friend. You will have more fun doing it with a coach. At times, I'm telling you, so seriously, we do have fun. We're not just horrible people. And with having that extra support, it'll make getting your goals so much easier. And I think with that, I'm going to leave the podcast here because I'm not sure how straightforward or well this went, but hopefully you have an idea of some goals or some ideas on what I was saying there, and I make sense because my goal is to make these podcasts make sense. But I think when I'm on my own, I don't always do that. However, I still keep showing up because I set a goal of having these out for you guys. But with that, I'm going to leave it here. If you want to find me or find out more about working with me, I swear to God, my training plans are far more structured than these podcasts. You will find me on Instagram and TikTok. It is at Strong the Saddle with an underscore on Instagram, at Strong the Saddle with the underscore on TikTok. And my website is www.chrissyhawkins.com. I want to say thank you for listening again today, and I hope you have a great day. And I would love to hear what goals you're going to set. So I'm going to be posting this on Instagram. Let's see what they are. And also, you can reply on the little Spotify engagement thingy. Please do. I would love to hear. I really do appreciate everybody who listens to this podcast. So if you please could help me with the algorithm and leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And even, if you want to reach out and suggest topics for me, I'd be delighted to hear from you. Drop me a DM on Instagram or TikTok. And thanks again for listening.